Good morning. We will be talking about Catholic, Christianity, Western religion, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, angels, the Old Testament, Jewish Torah, Islamic Korean religion, Chinese religion. We will also be talking about if you know anyone if you know anyone that in those religions are thinking about entering those religions, that they need to search the Bible and read up about those scriptures before they decide to step out and be a part of those religions. If we know some people that are Islam or Muslim or Muhammad, then we also need to pray on behalf, because we want to make sure that the Almighty that we are serving, the God of the Most High, that we are serving the right one, because there are cunning spirits out here that are working crafty. So we got to make sure that who are the gods that are out here on different planets, or maybe out here in the world, that's being and attaching its part to the people, that's trying to take these people under their wings so they can be able to have that control over their lives. So we have to be careful, but the people that are being a part of these different religions, because it may be a downfall. We also need to talk about the Catholic religion and the saint religion, the pagan gods, the Samaritans. We got to be careful, the Arabians. We got to understand why so much war is in various places. What causing so much war? What was written in the land before the times of historically times, since the biblical times? But we have to be careful, because we all have to come on one accord, and some of us, it's not on the same page. We are not in the same religion. And I just think our lucky stars that Joseph Prince is in the Chinese area of, from his culture, that he's trying to teach people the way. So that's a great start, because I don't think that they had it that way. So I'm not sure, 100% sure, but he's teaching people some the religion that, what's in the word. But we have to be careful about what's going on. So we have to stand in faith, and we have to have faith to understand what's going on, because there are others out there that above all of this that can help us out, and those who are out there is lost. So that I will teach you that how to just step out on faith, and how to be able to, and it have to come from you too, that you got to be willing to want to step out on faith. It's like the woman with the issue of blood, that she just knew, and she felt that the truth was coming by, and she know once that word came out, she stepped out on faith to see whether it would take place. And I'm not 100% sure how everything took place with that, but we just want to be on one accord, on the same level with that. We got to be careful about what's going on in this world, because it can be an entrapment. So that's what we're going to be talking about on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to be talking about guardian angels, and we're going to be talking about interpretation, the universe, the prophets, whispering, intuition, interceding, inner voice, visions, and voices. And survivor stories. We could talk about thrones and dominions. We could talk about so many prosperous things that take place, that we need to learn all of this from the book itself, and also look it up in the dictionary for that some things we might don't understand, or maybe in a encyclopedia. That's where it's good at. Faith is also what we need to talk about. We're going to be talking about the book of Revelation, the book of John, Romans. We could be talking about it's a lot that we'll be talking about. So we just have to just stand on and just pray that we'll just get some breakthrough with that, because we really need to find out what's going on out there, and we need to stand in faith. And this, hopefully we'll get some information that comes through, because you never know that I might not receive a word, you might receive a word. So we have to be careful on the cunning spirits that out there leaking itself and trying to attach itself to us, because we don't ever know what they're trying to use us for. So we have to be careful out there in this world. And another thing, we just want to talk basically on Wednesday about how to get in a relationship and keep your relationship. And on Thursday, we want to talk about how to put your house in order and how to keep it in order. And on Friday, we're going to have a happy hour day that we can discuss anything that's on your mind that maybe we can talk to together to try to work and, bring things to and hope that could be bothering your life or ain't bothering your life or some happy things. Just anything that you want to get off on your chest that we can talk about. And on Monday, we're going to be talking about the feeling of the presence, what could be or surrounding you, what can be warning you. Could it be an angel? Could it be the Holy Spirit? What could be in your presence that you felt that's giving you the right information than the wrong information? So we want to talk about that on Monday. And on Tuesday, we want to talk about the entities. So we got to be careful. There are entities out there, forces and demonic forces out there. So we got to be careful. And I just want each and every one to look up these scriptures, look in the encyclopedia, look on the website, Google it. It's there. Just pay attention what's going on. We might be missing some fine prints that we are not looking at that could be having us misled by just doing certain things in this world that misleading us that we are not paying attention. So we need to pay attention. We also could be talking about the four archangels, Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, and Uriel. We need to be talking about that. We got to be careful because, like I said before, a third came out of heaven and Adam and Eve deceived. So, and Cain and Abel. So we got to be careful because we don't know if that spirit's still out there lingering along after what took place with Adam and Eve and what happened with the third came out of heaven. And we got to be careful for all of that because we don't know because it's under attack and so much people out here in this world. So we got to be careful. We also going to be talking about trying to come together as one in a community. So that's another thing that I'm trying to get going in Park Circle. So if you want to come out to the Park Circle, the tickets will be $3 for the adults. It's a dress down day, Bible study, music. It'll be like a gathering community for we can be able to become as one to change what's going on in Charleston. And I know some churches already is doing it. So, being a part of that will be good. So hopefully the information will come out this fall and you will see it there posted in the front of the Park Circle in North Charleston. And also, if you want to come out to Seacoast Church, you can come out to Seacoast Church, wonderful church. And if that's not the church that you may want to attend, there are other Bible-based churches. Feel free to shop around and maybe you get led to the church that you need to be in because this is something really important that's going on. So much is going on in the world. We see it every day on the news. Some people say maybe not to watch the news, but sometimes, if that's not what you want, then that's okay. You can't be judgmental because of people watch the news. But also try to keep work. Work is very important. Try to keep a job. If you know somebody who needs a job, give them a job, please. Try to keep them with work and stuff like that. But we still need to work on some of the basic things that we mustn't. I also want to talk about moms and mothers. How do you feel about where your children at today? Because we as parent goes about every day. And we might say, well, our children is disrespectful. How do you feel deeply inside as a mother to where your kids at and where they may be going afterwards? Because there are some kids might pass away. And some people might say, well, yeah, I hope they're with the good Lord. But you have to make sure that they're here. That's why when they're alive, we got to make sure they're in church because we just don't know, Because some of us can be a mom, but some of us is not a mother. And we have to set an example for our children, and this as well as the father, because it could be a dad. It's a difference between a dad and a father. And we have to set examples. So there are various mentors out there that are picking up the weight that the dads that left their children and the foster children and the stepdads are stepping in and doing actually the jobs that the real dads don't really want to do. And that's the same thing with the mom. So as I said before in one of my messages, to try to bring all your seeds inside church. Just don't think about this family that you settling down with. Try to get all your children and bring in the church. I don't care whether the woman or the guy that you with, that you want to settle down and marry, is not happy about your ex. That's not your problem. You have to bring your seeds to church. Bring all of your children in church. If they don't like it, then that's probably not who you need to be with. But just pray about it. But in the meantime, try to make sure you fathers and moms don't try to get on child support. That's the wrong thing to do. And I know some people will put you on child support. I don't care if you have to file taxes and pay extra towards that child. Keep the receipt. Make a money order out. Keep something based on what you have to do to take care of your child. I don't care if you got to bring food there. Just make sure your child is being taken care of, because it's very important that your children need to be taken care of and stuff like that. So I mean, we all in this together. Sometimes we are slackers and we don't do things like we supposed to, and we don't do things on time like we supposed to. It's just, we just need to just start praying about it as one and bringing that together. And just pray for those who are in jail. They need to come out of jail and prison. Pray for those who are sick in the hospital, pray for those who need deliverance. Pray for those who are holding so much resentment inside of them. Pray for those who need work. Pray for those who need to become as one as husband and wife. Pray for parents to get their children back from foster care. Pray for dads to get back in place with their children. Pray for the debts to fall off. Pray for our community, for we could be able to have low interest on things that causing us to just things to flow up out of our pocket. For example, electricity, water. Just pray for some things where we can have some prayer time into jumping into the politics of things that trying to hinder our pocket, especially those who make under the $10,000 bracket a year, and those who make less, and those who make a little bit more, because there are a lot of working poor people just working to get by, and that's something that we don't want. So I just pray right now that each person who listens to this message will try to plant seed that comes from their hearts, for they can be able to open up a store and open up something like a salon, or open up a barbershop, or open up something, because there are people out here is getting things, boulders and stuff like that. And some people aren't keeping these things. So you want to put yourself in place for you to be able to take what's yours, because we don't want to be robbed from what we supposed to have in the first place. So that's why I pray also for those who supposed to be put in place as your husband or wife, that you will receive them, because the devil have stole away from us, and a lot of us been written off for so many years. A lot of us been cheating out the things that was really supposed to be ours since the beginning of time. So we have to stand on the second verse of Joel, the second chapter of Joel, verse 25-26. We got to stand on restoration for 3 days, 3 months to 3 years. Stand on that, because you might have been written off too and cheated out of things that could have been yours since the beginning of time. We're going to stand on that. We're going to stand on things and we're going to find that something going to cover it and going to water it. So we're going to go in the book of Psalms, and we're going to find something that's going to water water that seed. So we're going to have to just find some things that's going to bring it to pass, and we're going to stand on agreement. We're going to bring those things to pass in our life, because I believe a whole lot of us was cheated out of them things, and there are some cunning, wicked spirits out here that will take what's rightfully yours just to see you fall and burn in eternity. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful what's out here in this world, because we will be deceived, and you can be deceived, and anybody can be deceived if you're not keeping your eyes straight. So we just got to be on one accord. We got to be in faith. We have to be pray up and fasting and just hoping to get that breakthrough, because that's something that we want. So those who listen to this message, as I said before, 843, contact me at 843-620-1802. And I cannot wait to have that family time at the Park Circle when it's available this fall, for we can be able to come out as a family and watch some Christian music and movies, and listen to some Christian music. And like I say, the adults tickets is $3, the children is $1.50, the t-shirt's going to be $10, and the pets is $5. But you can bring your food. You can have your little children's toy, and they dress down there. They can dress like, in their little costume, and just have a little fun time when that time is right, and have them dress exciting, and they have their things that they want to enjoy themselves. Parents too, we might have a Woodstock day. We might dress into the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. We might dress sometimes like, let's make a deal. We just have some fun. Bring their skates and their bicycles and their hula hoops and their basketballs and their hoverboard, and bring their dolls, and do some paint and art and crafts and stuff like that. We gonna do some exciting things on Park Circus. On the days that it rains, it's gonna be canceled, so we know we can't do that. And hopefully that the center, hopefully the center won't be used in certain days, so we can go in the center and do that. So we want to be able to come out and enjoy ourselves, and it's not gonna cost a whole lot to become a community. We need to show people what it is to be in a community, and they do that with Christmas time. We go to the Christmas parade and certain things be at Park Circle, but we want to keep it going. And my goal is to try to get it as a carnival. That's my goal. So those who want to trip it into it, they can. If they don't want to, that's fine. But just come out. Even the neighbors, those who who want to have a Bible study, who want to watch Christian music, movies. No loud music, no cursing. We don't want to look at no horror movie. We don't want to get none of those things. We want to be as a family, and we want to be able to come together as a community like we supposed to be as a people, and just pray among what's going on and talk about a lot of things that are going on that can change our lives. And I just really appreciate that each and every person is listening to this message. I just want you to stay close, pay attention what's going on, keep the Christian station radio on, look at the TBN, the CBN, just keep praying and fasting, and like I said before, get your oil, including me, and try to get some things closer to you for you could be able to stay pray up. Get some red wine from time to fast and stuff. Get those things, not to just to drink it all the time, but just drink it, occasionally, but also use it for the fasting and praying. Get your bread and stuff like that's part of it. And if you don't know what fasting and praying, I can teach you a little bit about fasting and praying. If you don't want to come to me, call a pastor and call some people that you want to believe and lean on that can help you with that. Laundry Day is every Saturday from 8 to 9. Bible study will be whole at the Mixon Avenue. Laundry Day is there. It's very important. If you want your clothes washed, just call me. And it's free. The bleach is free. The Clorox is free. And you just have our little Bible study session for those who know in their heart that someone needs some fresh, clean clothes, not to override it, but it'll be something that's going to help the community out. And those who want to trim it in the neck, they can do it as well. But I just want to thank you so much from listening to this message, and you all be blessed and have a blessed day. Pray among your families at your table. Pray in your car. Pray when you taking your kids to school. Just pray. Just keep praying. Always pray. And if you have to have a Bible with you at all times, anywhere you go, have your word with you, because you're going to need it. Because right now, so much things is happening right now, and we just have to pray for those who are lost, those who are receiving so much bad things that are happening inside their family right now, like the Orlando and the Zika. Now the super bug is out there. The killer bees was out there. There's so much stuff that's going on in this world that we don't know when the time is going to come and the trumpet's going to blow and everybody be moving, lift it up and they'll be gone. So we just got to be careful and stuff. So let's try to stay around positive people. Even those who have probably wrong, you pray for them. Please pray for forgiveness. It's another thing will allow you to cross to the next level. Faith, hope, love, and forgiveness is the specialist thing that we all have to pray for, because unforgiveness, you will not cross that gate without unforgiveness. That forgiveness needs to be in place. A lot of people hold hate and resentment and bitterness. If you've done something wrong to somebody, please pray and say, Lord, forgive me for why I did it. Even if you might offend them and you didn't know you did it, just ask for forgiveness for them. If you can't you can't speak the word, give them a card, do something. Just give them something to let them know that you are sorry. And if you feel that this is not where you want to be comfortable with, you walk away from it for a while till you heal, and ask them the more you into the person that you need to be, for you can be able to go out there and wear your armor on, for you could be protected as well. But then still ask them, I forgive her, but this is not my area where I need to be. As long as you apologize, because sometimes people hold grudges for so many years. And I remember a story happened a long time ago, and it's an example that a woman was holding on grudges for 10 years. But little did she know, the woman that she was holding grudges on, that the woman was already going to church and forgive herself over to the Lord, and she had a changed life. But when she saw her again, she thought this woman would have looked worse than what she was. But she saw a new creature. She saw a new creature in Christ. She was renewing her life all over. She gave herself over, and she was forgiven. So sometimes you can hold on grudges for so many years, but it's killing you. But that person move on. So you have to move on with your life. Lay those things at the foot of the cross and move on. In spite of what somebody say and what they do, you still have to go on and use that privilege that what you have, and just push yourself to do it. Just push yourself to do it, and allow yourself to know that I did all I can. And that's it. You have to move on, because if you stay around that, it's going to bring you back to the level that you don't want to. So move on. And that's all. Family, relatives, forgive them too as well. Family is very important, but you still have to pray on the behalf. And if sometimes we have to step aside from our family, Abraham did it. He was called from his. Sometimes you have to step away from your family just to go out there and do what you're supposed to do is right. Do it and move on. But just don't, when you hear him doing bad, just even me, anybody else, just try to say, I wish him the best, have a blessed life. You could send $5 or $10 to him, anonymous, or some things anonymous, just let it be known, because sometimes that works too. So like, once again, before I leave, just have a blessed day. Light your candles. They got some yucky candles out there to scent your house up. Have your meditation time, your TV off, some gospel music, and just listen to yourself. Mellow out. Just get around people who gonna be positive. And I just want to thank you so much for each and every person listening to this. And you have a blessed day. And hopefully, down the line, that we'll have a southern traveling trip, not trick, but trip, where we can be able to attend places, different places, and some historical places, some gospel places, things that take us back that we probably what our ancestors have been at, and what they have known, what we need to know. So just thank you so much, and have a blessed day. And forgive me for saying, trying to explain myself, and things might have sound like not what you may want to hear. But just thank you so much for listening to this message, and you have a blessed day. Amen. First of all, before we get started, I would like to thank the Lord for allowing me to share this information with you guys out here today. I just want to thank you for listening to my message, and I really appreciate it. And I just hope that you will get some understanding and maybe a breakthrough about what's going on and what's taking place out here. That maybe the scripture that I'm about to share with you can help you out along the way. And the first scriptures that I would like to share with you is going to be in the book of Exodus and Numbers. We're going to read about how Moses won when he went to Pharaoh 12 times, but he had God with him. And I just want to thank you guys for listening to this, and I just want to thank you, Lord, for allowing us to be shared. Also, we have to be careful for the cunning spirit that out there is working wickedly. We got to be careful of that. But we got to also be careful of not praying over our food and the TV things that we watch, the horror films. We got to be careful of just allowing ourselves to be on the left side, because we may be Christians or we may be wanting to become Christians, but we got to be careful, because I'm a witness that things can come through and take place, and it can harm your life. So you gotta be careful with watching the horror movies, and you gotta be careful of listening to the wrong people. You gotta be careful allowing yourself to open up to demonic forces, because it comes in a different way. But some of us don't know because we don't pay attention to the small things, and that's the things that we need to pay attention to. So when you understand it, it can come through oppression first, and then it'll cause you to be depressed. Then it'll take over as possession. That's the three things that the Warners was talking about. So we got to be careful with that because we can open up doors and we don't know that we even doing that. So we got to be careful for that. But in the book of Exodus, we will be talking about how Moses plagued the Pharaoh, and we gonna have to get ourselves up out of some situations. So we gonna have to start fighting back. So we gonna get all our bulls together, everything that we owe. I don't care if you have to pull it up on the internet and get it off as a out the credit bureau. Just get it and start praying and fighting back because the enemy wants you to be in debt and be under slavery of it, and that's not what we want to happen. Anybody who wants to become a Christian or is a Christian shouldn't be in debt. We don't supposed to be in no debt at all. But sometimes we put our own self in it and we cry to be delivered out, but we keep having our long eye putting ourselves there. So that's something that we're gonna take up and lift up and just leave that alone because we gonna have to have the Lord to help us with that because that's something that we don't want. So we got to be careful for what we do because we might think we doing it right and it could be actually something that can hurt us later. So we got to be careful with that. We also got to be careful for who we let into our household. We got to be careful about the people who are around us, like I said before. I mean, even in our household, we got children out here that do things and stuff like that, allow things. People who steal, we got to be careful of the people who steal. I mean, it's things that happen out here have been in the Bible, and we have to be careful. There's a lot of demonic forces and things that are really out here in this world that people are not paying attention to. And I know I done said this before on my messages, but there are a lot of good things that's out here as well, but you just got to know who's good and who's not. So we just got to pay attention to it. So much stuff is happening on the news. So much people lost their loved ones. The enemy is mad, and we don't want to. We just want to be ready, because love trumpet evil all the time. We got to also say hi to our neighbors. We got to, even to the ones that we don't want to say hi to, just say hi. If you could leave it there, because love, like I said before, love is very, very important to have inside of you and for people to see on the outside. We can't claim that we want to become all Christians, and don't let people see the results of the goodness of what we was taught in the word to come out. So we got to let them see the truth. And some people might see an attitude with you and don't want to be with you or around you because you claim that you in church, but your attitude shows a different way. It's like you have been in church and they don't see no results, so they moved on. And so sometimes people turn back to the world. Even in the churches, it's like that. So that's not something we would want. So we just got to be careful with that. There's a lot of us going to have husbands going to be returning back in their rightful place. There are a lot of husbands and males that is out there in the wrong place, and they will not be there for long. Some might have to settle in for a little while, but they're going to uproot themselves and they're going to move on. But once you get these husbands in your hand, you have to learn to keep them. You have to stay prayed up because you don't want the same thing to happen to the last person that's going to happen to you. These husbands are going to stick around for a long, long time, and but you have to want him to be with you. You have to humble yourself. You have to always remember Proverbs 15:1. You don't want to be a person that's going to run your husband away. But see, we got to come against that because you're going to have that husband, the husband that is out there that you've been supposed to have, you're going to have it. And those relationships that you hanging on, you're just going to let it go. And I just got to come against a lot that who really don't want you to have that. They want you to stay in that world, and they don't want you to have that relationship that was already ordained for you. But you're going to have that, and you got to stand on it, you're going to believe it, and get yourself prepared because he's coming to you. And the same thing as for the wife. If you have a husband and he is trying his best, please don't, if you know that you are wrong, admit you are wrong, you pray because you don't want to lose your husband. You don't want to. You want to be a wife. You want to be a wife that your husband can come home to. You want to be a wife that your husband can plant seeds around and see your life prosper. So don't run your husband away, because someone can be looking for someone that you just thinking that's not fitting for you, but it really is for you. So be careful with that. So that go for men and women out there. Just be prepared. Those that are youth children from 15 to 19 and 20 years old, just try to be patient in celibacy for a while. Just take your time. Don't put yourself in debt. Enjoy your life. Try to be around Christian men and women that is going to keep you away from the turning to the end of to the dead end of the road, and cause yourself to get pregnant, cause yourself to get in debt, steal, and do anything that causing you to go out in that world. And if you got a parents that really love you enough to care for you, try to obey your parents, because there are people who upset and jealous because you have parents that who care for you all. Even if they're single, that who loves and care will do the world for you. But you gotta also appreciate them. And there are parents too. Just go for the parents. Don't be jealous of your children. You done had your life. Let your children love their life. Don't make them suffer anymore. Don't make them go through that you feel like you over them and you are the parent, but actually you got a jealousy, a tendency inside of you that you're trying to keep them from what they need. Let them go far as if they want to have a life that's going to make them prosper. Allow them to have that. To stop ripping them away from it. Because I remember a story was told years ago about a woman who was raised up for a lot of things that her parents didn't give her, and she came out with the truth that she didn't want her kids to have it. So there are some jealous parents out here, and those things you don't want to come back to you. So you need to, some of y'all parents need to back off and allow the Lord to take control, and stop causing them to react out on you, because some of y'all causing these kids to argue and say these things to you, and y'all better be careful, because God hears and sees everything. And you can have the enemy step in and cause you to be able to harm your child. Be careful with that. You're supposed to love them at all time. And if you cannot love them, you pray about it. And then if so, give them to somebody that who's going to love and care for them, that you know the Lord is leading you to do so. And stop making them suffer so much, because it's not their fault. And stop making them become parent, because that's your job. Some kids is raising their parents, and that's not right. Grandparents need to be grandparents, and they raising their grandchildren, and they done come out of a situation. They done work hard. Some have been out there for so many years struggling, and have to turn around and raise their grandchildren because the mom don't want to be a mom or the dad don't want to be a dad. And that's not fair to the grandparents. They are tired. They need to have the fun that they already worked so hard to become who they are, just to love their grandbaby. So give them a break and allow them to be who they need to be. They need to be in church. They need, some of these grandparents can't even attend church, and they need to go to church because that's their job. They need to be on the seat, on the board. They are elders. They are needed to be in church. So allow them to be who they are. And grandparents need to stop also, and elders stop saying things coming out of their mouth wicked towards these kids, because that's not fair either. So if you want to pray about it, you pray about it, and you put it on the cross and try to leave it to me. That go for me, everybody else too, with grands. So leave it alone. And another thing's going to take place. There are people who want jobs out here going to receive jobs, and you have to stand on the word, and they're going to receive employment, because it's going to be a lot that's going to be poured on out here, and we don't want to lose it. There's going to be so much stuff that's happening if you just keep your place. And I don't care whether you want to start a business selling cookies, selling shampoo, selling anything. That's an employment. Anything that you can sell as profit. I don't care if $2, $3, $4 that's still a job. It's in your pocket. Try that. And try to come up and pray about it. But that's my theory. That's what I'm saying. But maybe he might have a different direction for you to do. So just try that. There are a lot of mentors out here. There are dads that written off their children, and the mentors and those that are steps that is taken, and you will be blessed for that. Especially if you're doing it from the kindness of your heart and you actually want to be a dad to these children, not because you're being pushed into doing it and you picking up the slack. And don't only do it for you want income taxes. Do it because you want to love these children and take care of these kids. And if you have children out there that are out there in the world, try to send some of those taxes money to these parents that you already had these children with. Don't leave them behind. Like, that is not right. And if you were a woman that who want to accept you for her kids and your kids, and if you decide to have children with this woman and she don't want to accept you with no kids at all, you pray about it and say, Lord, I'm in a situation now. I have to take care of my responsibility. I have a certain amount of child support is packing up, but this female or this person who I'm with is causing me to back up. So what can I do? Because he might lead you out of that situation, because he don't want you to be in no debt. And moving on along, there are those who gonna need some counseling. And some counseling is going to be there for you. The churches today, each church is that can have a counselor session of a group session. Seacoast is there. Mount Moriah is there. There's a lot of churches out here, but you got to pray about it, because some of y'all need counseling along with the Lord, because some of y'all think that he cannot do what he says. So some of y'all, if y'all feel y'all need to step to the counselor, go to the counselor. Let the counselor guide you through some things, and then also stand on the word, because that's where your strength's going to come from, is through the word. There are a lot who looking for transportation. They're going to have transportation. Some that may feel that they can't afford it, but you will. Some might take the bus and have more money to pay for buses. You might have extra on your checks. You never know. It's going to come to you, but you're going to be least expected, but it's going to come and it's going to bless your life. Some going to have money that's going to come to them that they least expected, and it's going to be there. So that transportation, from a friend, church member, someone is going to help you along with transportation. Also, with those who are looking for friends, they're going to get friends in their life. Friends is very important to have. They're going to be people with friends that going to be close to them more than their own sisters and brothers. But then you have to pray for the sisters and brothers that in your home are closer to you and your family, but still these ones going to be real closer to you. But still don't forget about your sisters and brothers that at birth that y'all are relatives. But still pray, but still don't throw those ones away, because they really are what you need, until those other ones can come along and see what's going on. And hopefully they can get some blessing pour on them to get the same thing, because they might need a little cleaning up. And another thing that it's going to take place too, babies. There's a lot of people going to start seeing some results of people having babies out here. Late age, those who are already prepared, those who can afford to take care of them, those who are going to have babies unexpected. So whoever looking for a baby to be, to come their path with, that's going to take place. You're just going to stand on the word, but you have to believe that it's going to take place, and you will have that child that you always wanted. He may say, well, I want you to get, have this baby, or go to foster care, and you might have a foster care child, and you might have another child. It's a lot of things that's unexplainable. But just always believe that it's going to come your way. Another thing's going to happen is some great neighbors going to be put around you. You're going to be in a place to meet real great neighbors. Pray about it. Just ask, the Lord that to lead you into the area that you need with great neighbors, and know someone that you can, lean on when time is right. You don't want to be in a neighborhood that is going to be corrupted so much, but still pray for that neighborhood. But you're going to have neighbors. Some of the pastors going to be replaced out here. That's not what you think they is, but we're going to pray for them. But they're going to be replaced, because we can need someone to follow through on what we need to know for they can be able to receive the word. Because this pastor may not receive, but the next pastor that might need to be put in place may receive the word quickly. So not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but a lot of pastors going to be put in just taking all the place, and the church is going to be changed and renewed, because we don't want a Sodom and Gomorrah church. We want a clean church, and he want to come through and see that it's footing right. So that's something that we going to have to, be looking forward to. We're going to be protective, pray about a lot of churches that people may be trying to compete up against, but that's not something that he wants. There are a lot of police going to be put in place, security guards and the planes and stuff. We're going to have to be praying for that, for the churches and stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of police and security guards, and some of the armies and the Navy people are going to probably be out there, going to have to stand up. So we got to be careful because of the ISIS and what's going on. So we're going to have to believe that. That's something we will want to take place. So, I mean, when that time comes, it'll happen. So we just try to see ourselves being protected, even if they have to be in the grocery stores, the Walmarts, the churches and stuff like that. And it's going to be people out there going to be tight security because so much stuff is going on. So we got to pay attention to that. And hopefully that it'll come to pass. Those who are sick, needed deliverance, it's gonna be overflowing. It's gonna come so much from the north, south, east, west. It's gonna have so much people restored and healed and delivered. Those that gonna be on their last breath. But then the doctors are explaining what took place, what happened, because this person's supposed to pass away. But they're gonna come out of that situation. So we're gonna believe right, into his word that it's going to take place, because it is going to happen. Just like, the book of Acts going to take place and revival is going to take place. So we going to have to believe in that. So I'm just asking you right now just to try to just get those bills together so you could be able to plague those books. I mean, forgive me, plague your bills for you could be able to have it come to pass. Forgive me for messing up on that, but just get those bills for you could be able to play it, because it's very important for we to be out of debt. And like I said before, a lot of husbands is going to be coming back home where they needed to be. Parents going to be parents again. Children is going to be in the place. I don't know why I'm feeling that right now, but that is something strong and it's going to take place. And the ones who I am so sorry, but you didn't appreciate it when you had it. And matter of fact, that's not who you're supposed to be with in the first place. So you're going to get the husband, and the husband's going to receive that wife, and they're going to be united till the end, until the tribulation. But the enemy is not going to stop them, because the enemy going to see the love and the caring and the glow of God all over all those who going to stand strong. He's not going to move. He going to try, but he is not going to stop them, because they're going to be so strong. But I didn't say this before. There's a lot of husbands going to be coming this year. Next year, it's going to be so much weddings going to take place. There's so much awesome things. And there are people who are here praying for husbands and wives. But it's coming. But you got to be prepared for it when it comes. You got to know thy fruit, because you got to make sure you're in a cunning, wicked spirit or something working wicked. But it's coming. But you're going to know. You're going to know that's who I supposed to be, when you'll be so happy and rejoice. But just don't try to let your friends steal your joy. Because there's going to be a blessing coming again for so many people. And the enemy mad now. And he ain't going to want this to happen, but it's going to come. And it's going to be even in the youth department. It's going to be even in the youth. They're going to have it all. And they're going to be ready. Some of them going to wait for that right person, and they're going to get married. But then when the time is right, but they're going to get their blessing head on. So I just want to thank each and every one of you guys for listening. And some people might take it as a joke, but it's not. Because the word speaks for itself. And also read Philippians, says, press forward and leave those things behind. Read the script, the Bible verse of Philippians. That's something you have to do. And it's just like Abraham been uplifted from his family. A lot of y'all going to do that. Y'all going to have a clean house in order. People going to be amazed what's going to blow their mind. Because it's going to be awesome. The baby story is going to be told in so much. I mean, it's going to be shared with Seacoast Church to churches. But I also want it to be on CD. I want to know all the glories that's going to take place. It's going to happen so much. Awesome things going to take place. But you have to step out and believe. You have to sow into it. You have to give some time. It's like you doing on your job. You're going to give some time. It's going to be a blessing. Trust me, it's going to be a blessing to you. And don't try to go say, well, maybe that's what she talking about. I saw Peter one day and he was sitting on the corner. Let me go. No, 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 no. You don't take yourself to Peter. You just let it. When you know that that's your spouse, you will know. Don't try to push it and say, well, he's handsome or she's fine. Love that. No, you don't do that. You be patient enough. Because he is an awesome person that who cares and he wants you to have land and all. Land gonna come to pass too. Land gonna come to pass. But we standing on his word. And so many things gonna take place. The enemy wants to come connected and joint to what we gonna have as a blessing, but he gonna be kicked out because it's not yours. And we going to have a lot to be so thankful in Charleston, South Carolina. People going to be coming over in Charleston, South Carolina. It's going to flow from off us. The people ain't going to understand why Charleston in that way. They're going to want to come here and get healed and stuff. There's so many wonderful things going to happen in Charleston. But Charleston people going to have to want it too. When other people going through some things too, Charleston might have their little problem, but not as bad as other people. Because we didn't want to see another 9 leave this side. But things that happen that is unexplainable, he hold the key to it. We don't. We don't know what's going on. But we know one thing, we're going to be in place. And I can't wait to share my story with my sons and daughters married, sitting on the high. I'm married, sitting on the high. I'm living the life that I always wanted. Those who was wrongly accused going to be pulled out from their situation, even from hereafter, in the next life. And they're going to be pulled out because they were wrong. But you just have to believe it. All I can say is get your bills together. Gather up all your debt. Start talking back to your bills. Plaguing them bills. You can't have no control of me. And he might tell you, well, you shouldn't put yourself into that. So you give me your contract and you tell them no. Because that's what the word said. And then you start talking back to them. And you start plaguing those bills. And you start plaguing those things that are in your life. Because I ain't going to have no haunted house for the rest of my life. I don't want to be with stress, worry, and depression. And ain't nothing going to take possession over me. And you start talking back to them. Say, I'm no longer going to be piling debt anymore. I'm no longer going to allow the world to take control of me. I'm no longer going to allow no disrespect going to come my way. I'm not going to allow, just start talking back and start winning with the word. And as long as you got that word and starts giving them the scripture back, the enemy going to be fighting hard, but he going to lose. And the Bible said the two or more agree. That's an awesome punch. And once y'all start fighting battle together, especially in the church, you all on one chord, he ain't going to be doing nothing but walking out there and get all beat up by your words. So you going to have to stand on it, because I standing on it with you. Because I know it's going to happen for you, but you just got to let it walk itself out. And we're going to have a lot of fixing up. We might have to do a lot of us. Some of us might not be in the fancy clothes, but we're going to have us some husbands. We're going to have us a husband. We're going to have our stuff. And we ain't going to have to worry about all of that. We ain't going to have to worry about that. We're going to have people probably going to understand we want some of what you got, but they got to do their work. So I just want to thank each and every person for listening to this. And make sure you be the woman that he wants to see you. I don't care if you got to buy your nice little sexy lingeries. And the men, you buy your nice little sleepwear for your spouse, because it's going to take place. The Lord want to smell a sweet sex aroma. He don't want to smell all different partners. He want to smell something clean. And it's going to happen for you. It's going to take place. He don't want to smell 3 or 4 or 5, 6 partners coming out of somebody. He don't want that. He want cleanness coming out of you. A sweet aroma. Because it's going to happen. But you got to be ready. And I just want to thank each and every one of you guys for listening. And I just thank him so much. Those who have allowed themselves, they had it in their hand, and by God, they let it go. But that's all right. It's our turn now. Like I said one time before on my other message, burn your candles. You got Yankee candles out there, Glade candles. Get some little fragrance, clean your house. So if you might say you have a neighbor, start praying to the Lord. I don't know, my neighbor might need me. Like I said, start doing things for your neighbors. Unexpectedly, leave something. Say, well, he might need $5 at the door. $10 at the door, $3 at the door. Give them a car or say hi, how you doing? We might start small, me and everybody else, but start trying to pick up the pace when the time is right. That's why I'm trying to do Park Circle as a wacky tacky day for families to come out and enjoy themselves and have fun, to get to know each other with Bible studies and Christian music and Christian movies. And we could do this, the 50s and the 70s, the 80s and the 90s dress down days. And we having a great time. You got to bring your own food and stuff. You got to bring your blankets and bring your toys for your kids and stuff like that. You're gonna be face painting and all those things I'm praying to come to pass. And like I said once on my other message, you have to go through Park Circle to see when the date is taking place, but this still allowed to, just enjoy yourself. You might bring 2 dishes. Well, I might buy me a box of chicken and some salad or something like that. Just bring your food, because we will be sharing food out there. And make sure you have enough to cover your family. But we're going to have some ball times. It's going to be hula hoops and jumper ropes and pie eating and watermelon eating things. There's going to be so much exciting things going on. But we got to have to want it and participate as community in the family. We got to let people know what a community are. The tickets ain't going to be no more than the adults $3, the children $1.50, the pets $5. But it's not going to, and the t-shirts, the airbrush t-shirts, $10. And that's like, 2 or 3 passes to get in if you buy a t-shirt. So, it's going to be nice out there this fall. And I just hope everything works itself out. You might say, I'm going to introduce myself to a few people and take your kids and have a nice time, play ball with your children, ride the bicycle, do some skating and stuff like this. Have a nice time. But this allow it to take place, People might say, why your children dress up? But we had a celebration of happiness. We got to let people know that the love is strong than hate. But just thank you so much. And this for the men's. Watch your games. There are games, footballs out there. Don't always go to the sports bar without your partner. Keep your partner with you. Fix her up. Make her look pretty. She do the same thing. Let him know that y'all two is for each other if that's who you want to be with. But the ones who waiting for their spouse, it's going to be awesome. Because some of them in the situation now, it's like I said on my last time, that you're going to be sitting there for a minute, but you got to do the work to keep it going. Stop leaving your partner home and running all over the place. If your parents, and that's another thing is too, be around people who don't like your spouse. And if you know that's how your people is and that's who you want to be with, you got to put a stop to that and pray about it. Maybe they might see some things that you might not see, but they are not the holy, the God of the Almighty. They're not Him. So just pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? Take your children with you. So don't try to be sneaky and conniving. Start letting your cell phone go to your partner if you trust them. Try to say, well, if check your bank accounts and make sure ain't nobody doing anything they ain't supposed to do. If you don't trust that person, you don't need to be there. Just try it. If you can't trust them enough and you feel that this is what that person might be doing, uproot yourself and go on but your business. Pray about it, but uproot yourself. Start trying to make steps out of that situation. But in the meantime, if this is who you want, then you have to do some changes. Like I say, don't go out there by yourself. If you go into the mall or any place that she might feel it's something wrong, you take her with you. Walmart, no matter what nobody says, that's yours. Because you're going to be held accountable for it. And another thing I want to share before I go, and I don't know, this is on my mind. Some of us marrying into these marriages and relationships, and some of y'all just don't know they're saving your life from damnation. Some of y'all is out here marrying these people. Somebody know fleshly wise because you let your flesh step in because you want to look pretty and have a nice little wedding and all. But some of y'all that are out here is marrying these people is being saved from being from damnation. But when you cheat and commit adultery, that's what he looks at. He like things holy in a marriage. Because the enemy out here is mad. He don't want you to get married. He don't want you to get married at all. So you got to be careful. Because there's an example, I say there was a lady and a man that they married and they didn't supposed to be married. And the enemy have a lot to say because the enemy trying to say that they shouldn't have never got married. So this person, so she belongs to me because she was living in the world and he was living in the world. So the enemy didn't want both of them to get married at all. So to make the long story short, when the enemy found out that they was married, that pissed him off. But likely, when the enemy knows that he was not married, the enemy had to tear up his contract because he no longer belongs to the world. So some of these girls and guys are saving y'all from being in damnation. Y'all might not think they is, but y'all should be grateful that they want to marry you and put y'all in a better situation. So if you take advantage of that, then that means that you don't care nothing about nobody but yourself. You need to read divine revelation how the husband committed adultery and the wife kept holding on grudges. And then when she died, she went to hell. But the husband didn't because she was the one holding on grudges because she forgave the husband and God forgave the husband. The Lord forgave him. So he decided he wanted to still stick with her to be in the marriage, but he still had his child he had to take out outside the marriage. But she still kept hate inside her that kept her for unforgiveness. So unforgiveness, like I said before, is a key to end the gate. You have to have forgiveness, or you don't have it, then you're not crossing that gate. I'm telling you the truth. Read your word. Everything that's in that Bible speaks itself. The commandments and the laws, fornication, anything else in that Bible, forgiveness is the key. I'm telling you. He reads your heart. He understands. You might say, how he reads what's in your heart. That's why they says what goes in the man, it comes out in the heart or whatever. You got to read the scriptures in the word Bible verse. Is I want you to pull it up for yourself. And then you have to be careful for what you see, hear, and what you speak. That's why they call it the three monkeys. Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. You got to be careful. But y'all better be thankful, even though celebrities letting so much people fall short in their marriage, even their marriage and all, they letting go just because they were looking on to the left. It may not be for you, but you should be celibacy until you get remarried again. But some just don't understand when they marry. These people are saving your life. They put out there to do the works. And you just don't know. They could be unaware angels sitting in the place. And then you might understand some of them ain't no angel because you're not one. It's what you send out is what you get. If you're going to send out an attitude, you're going to get it back. And you may seem that's tit for tat, but no, sometimes you got to be careful because if you don't get that attitude from your wife or the spouse, the person you with, somebody out there from a friend, neighbor, family member, if you don't pay attention, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Look to the little tiny things that you may not pay attention to. That you might say, man, I got my so and so giving me this third degree, but then 2 or 3 days down the line, you might get it from somebody. You got to be careful. These people are saving your lives. They're not trying to tie you down because if that's what you feel, you should have never married in the first place. And there are some people married and didn't want to be married. And trust me, believe me, I know what I'm talking about. But then once you done marry them and the enemy know now, I can't touch you because you were married, so you can't go to hell. But if you cheating and you still married into this thing, hey, you ask for that. If you don't want to turn, then you're going to burn. People might say God said he forgive. Look how much time he forgave Eve. Now he forgave Eve them one time. I never see him forgive 2 and 3 and 4 times. When Cain murdered Abel, he put a mark on his head, but Cain still went to hell. So he forgave him, but Cain went to hell. So y'all better read your Bible. Because there's a lot of things that y'all don't understand what's going on, but y'all think y'all getting over, but y'all not. I'm telling you, there are people burning in hell, being full up with worms, and you don't think that there is, but there is. The enemy, you thinking, oh, the devil, I'll go. But no, you don't want to go because there's a lot of things down there in hell that you don't want to know. Trust me, you don't want to know what's sitting in hell. Who wants to be full up with worms and the worms eating you from the inside out and you decaying right there? Who wants that? Who want to be in heat? Who want to burn? So before you think, before you decide to go out there, you better think. And if you have 2 or more, 3 or 4 partners, you better pray real hard to get rid of that. Because it's going to come back to you in at least a way. And hopefully it don't come back to you that you have to bow your knees and cry out and something take over. So you just got to have that belief that I'm going to get out of this situation. You don't want it to come back and say I have AIDS or she gave me gonorrhea or some things I can't get rid of. You got to be careful. That ninja is out there is killing so much people. And there's another story that I had to share before I close out. There was a couple that was married, living a great life. He was working, she was working, until his friend brought him out the house and begged him to come out into the sports bar and drink. He cheated on his wife the first time. And when he woke up the next morning, the lipstick was on the wall or on the mirror, said, "Welcome to AIDS." She had HIV. She gave him AIDS. He had the family. That's how cunning the devil works. You have to, and he might have been drinking a little too much and didn't know, but he ended up with HIV because she had the disease. Look what happened to the story with the dentist man. He ended up giving all the people AIDS because he had them, so he give them AIDS. Look it up on Google. So you got to be careful. People is very cunning. They're working wickedness out here, and be careful. Because these women are saving you, these men are saving you. Some people in marriage for financially reason, that's a wrong thing to be in, but still pray about it until you know, Lord, this is what I did. I know I was wrong. But ask him to forgive you for it. And if you can change, he can change your marriage. And if he wants you to move on, you ask him, because you might be taking that person from the person who really need him in the first place. Trust me, I'm telling you, it's some wicked things going on out here in this world. People hustling each other with food stamps. People hustling people because of certain things that they can get from them. That's why there are some people hang together, because they can do that. People hustling because of welfare checks. They hustling because I can get my friend and so know this person know a guy who can fix my hair and give me new sneakers. All those things ain't worth to get a job. Get a job and try to leave those things alone. It's not worth it, because all those things gonna be held accountable for you. You might say, "Well, he ain't did it to me. I seem like I get over okay," but you never know what your downfall gonna be, and he always sneak up on you when you least suspect it. You never know. It might be on your sick bed. That's something you do not want. So try to pull away from. Just still pray. Because as long as you got breath in you, and you still waking up every day, still ask for forgiveness, but try. And people might say it ain't hard, ain't easy, and I know, because it's just, even people who are in drug addiction and alcohol addiction, they still stepping on to take the steps to try to ask for help. They're praying and standing on the word each day. You never know. You can take steps towards it, and sooner or later there'll be a month. Then you take more steps praying and keeping yourself from it. It'll be 3 months. Then all of a sudden it'll be a year. You'll be like, I made it. But you got to take the steps and try to say, well, I did this for myself. But you got to want to do it. Nobody going to push you. You got to want to do it. Because the enemy will suck you in. And we on the opposite side know y'all going through that. We got to pray too. And I know sometimes our words, we be harsh. People screaming and trying to yell and try to make you do the things, and you could hear them, but you're not listening. But we trying to get that breakthrough before it be too late. So just try to forgive some of us with our attitude, because sometimes we need to change our attitude too, because we done things in the world too. But sometimes a lot of us can see somebody about to fall, and we get pulled out of that situation, but you might not get pulled out of that situation. So be careful with that. And a lot of young ladies, stop trying to go to clubs and party out here and stuff like that, because things happen out here. Try, y'all, do a little house party for y'all. Could be close to home to your family and friends and neighbors. If something take place, you wouldn't be in such a harm's way. Look what happened to Orlando. Look what happened to the young lady who went to a block party. You know what I'm saying? Just pull up some things that would take place in these clubs and situations. Just stop trying to run the streets so much, and just try to do a little party thing to your house. And I'm not saying to sin and drink and smoke marijuana and weed and all that. No, I'm not saying all of that. But I'm just saying is try to be on the safe side. When you come down to sex intercourse, and I know it's wrong, go places that who going to give you something that's going to protect yourself. I'm not saying that I want you to go have sex. I'm just saying just be on the safe side. I mean, try not to have it, but if you feel that you don't have no self-control, then you need something going to protect yourself. Because you be surprised. You just don't want to go find yourself sick and throwing up every day. That's something you don't want. I come against cancer. Cancer is out there. It's taking out a lot of people and their children. So I come against cancer. That's another thing that a lot of people are going to be restored from is cancer, because cancer is serious out there. And that's another thing. So we're going to have to be careful. Try to take your children to the doctor and get their vaccine shot. You go to the doctor and stuff like that. Before you settle down with this person, get a screening, a health screening to make sure. Because I'm doing the start of marriage. And it's a marriage that is going to, you have to get screened for you can be able to see whether this person got good health. For you to know whether this person has something before you say I do, you want to be careful with that. So I'm doing a start of marriage, and my number 843-620-1802, and it's $50 for each person. But then also, it's $50, like I say, for you and who decide to get married. But you got to go through my program first. Before I marry you, you're going to have to give me 3 months before I decide to marry you. I don't want to marry you. I want to make sure you get counseling, you get the standing on the word. I want to make sure you're ready and prepared before you go into marriage. And then I'm going to marry you like that. But I won't give my paper to the courts and stuff like that. I want you to settle in for a while. And if you might say, well, I want to make it legal, let me put it in the system of Social Security and get his last name. That's something you want, that's fine. But I want to make sure that the start of marriage is for you to be able to take the steps and say, I'm going to do the start of marriage first to just see how it feels to be married. Because sometimes marriage is easy not to get it, to come out. You got to pay so much to the courts. So I'm a notary, and I can marry you, and I have my papers and everything to marry you. So I'm willing to do that. But I want you to be able to take that time, get that Bible verse, and start looking up scriptures that those who want to be married say, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to follow the rules in the Bible. And we're going to do this start of marriage. And you're going to have your little rings and stuff like that. And you're going to go through the process of it. And then once you decide that you want to take it to a little extra more than that, then we're going to put it in the system so they could be known. But you're going to have a start of marriage. And you're going to learn scriptures. And you're going to learn how to be in the marriage. And you're going to... And those who will section in housing, this is good for you because some of y'all are afraid to be married. I'm not going to turn y'all people in. And I want people to know that this is something else, but I want y'all to get the counseling, to go to group therapy. And if you want to call me, we can do that one-on-one. Why don't you call in the police and say, well, he's my husband and he can't go. No, I want you to be able to learn to get along, to be married into the relationship first. And I want to help you do that as well. But like I said before, there are a lot of people going to be getting married. They're going to have the spouse that they're going to need. So, I mean, if you want to get married, fine. But I'm not going to marry you right away. I want you to get those health screening. And I want you to be able to stand on the word and look up all the scriptures, what to do when you in a marriage, husband and wives. And I want you to be able to come and say, I'm ready now. This is something that I want to do. But you got to be willing to let go some of the fleshly things in this world before you decide all of it. If there's something that you don't want to do, then it's not for you. So, I mean, if you say, well, we could do her program, but we don't want her to marry us, we'll go to somebody else, that's still fine with me because it's your choice. And so, like I said, the marriage is $50 each. And that's, $50 each for each person. And that's to marry you and stuff like that. It's everything else is just $100 for 2 people. And that's just something I want. So that's another thing I want to do around Park Circle, to have that little setting out there for those who want to get married. And if I might not marry you, I might pay for my pastor to marry you. But I want you to be married, to be ready, because I don't want the enemy taking control of your life anymore. And then, like I said before in one of my messages, we having these intercourses with partners, and we having these different body fluid of stuff entering our body. Some of us do other things with, each other. And you know what I'm talking about. I mean, some do nausea swallows and stuff like that. But you got to be careful, because each thing that you flow through you is of a different person, is a different being. And that's how spirits get to you too. Because if your partner's sleeping with 5 other women and you sleeping with 3 other people, That's how they possess you as well. That's why when you see the behavior coming from each other, that's why. Because you allowing that door to open. Some people might say, no, I ain't see. Yes, you do. And you start having that problem from your woman problem or men problem because you allowing the different. Because somebody can be with a demonic force or somebody can have a spirit into them, but you sleeping with all these people, just like people go out and sleep with people on the street, and you bringing it home. And when you done did all of that, look at what you did to your family because you allowed that to happen. Some people might say no, but yes, you do if you don't pay attention. That where you think a baby come from? When a man put his seed into a woman, it develop into a baby. So who you think all those different sperms is going inside your body? You got to think on that. Think real hard on that because that's different people. But then those can have unclean spirit entering you, and you hear some of us do some things that we don't supposed to do, but we do it anyway, and you're unmarried. So I mean, once you jump online with the Lord, He can cleanse all that up. But you gotta wanna fast and pray and get some of those things out. Start talking to the Lord, standing on the Word, pulling up scriptures to contain to the marriage of what you want, and allow those things to be clean. But if you unclean and you have some history of the like gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, and AIDS, and some things clinging along, you want to know that before you say I doing it. So just be careful, you know what I'm saying? I know sex sometimes it can be addicted to some people because some people they just thrive to have it, but you gotta be careful because you never know what's gonna break your body down later on. Some people might say no, but you never know. You know, so just be careful. And just pray up. That's all I'm saying. And just have a blessed day. Once again, thank you for this message. Pray over your food because many times I was told to pray over my food because I'm telling you some things is working out there. And stop watching the scary movies. Be careful for what you listen to and what you hear. And if you may not want to listen to me, that's fine. Hey, listen to the TBN broadcast system, CBN, the 700 Club. Brother Marlon is good. The gospel station is good. Pray up too because we listen to all these things and seeing these Christian movies and stuff. But still be careful because you never know. Cunning working spirits can come through anybody. Listen to the gospel station. You want to cleanse yourself from some things. Don't listen to music always talking about cursing and the opposite of how woman should be and tricks and all. You don't want all of those things. Just stay away from that. But just pray for me, my family. I just come against anybody who might have a wicked prayer. I gotta come against you. Start using I'm coming against you. That's very powerful. That was given to me. Start coming against some things that might lead you and mislead you. And women out there, you might have so many responsibilities. 5, 6 children, maybe 4 and 5. Don't feel bad because you're going to get a husband too. Don't feel bad. Just make sure you fix yourself up and take care of yourself. You're going to appreciate it. But you might have a good bit of a herd going on or half of Mr. Deagle bus. Have you ever heard of the Magic School bus? And she had all those children on there. You going to have that husband, but you make sure those kids don't disrespect him when you get him. You make sure when he take over the job that the husband or the boyfriend that left you, you make sure your children hold them all together and that he ain't going to mistreat those children. He going to love you and want to be with you because you got those children. But then you pray and he pray and they say, Lord, I know you say raise your kids up in the way they should go and I have strayed away, but please move this cup away from me. Please allow this not to be, because the Lord's going to work in mysterious ways, but you have to be careful. But you don't want your husband ain't going to bully. You're going to know you have a good husband. And you're going to know he's going to be there for you. He's going to help you wash those kids. He's going to help you put them in bed. He can help read the Bible with you. He's going to be a good husband. I don't care if he's a mix. I don't care if he's a Latino or white, whatever. He's going to be a good husband. But you don't want no disrespectful children coming into your household, ruling because they don't have their family, the ones that they want. And some of them kids going to be glad for a new daddy. But they going to know the daddy that they had, that they going to always respect him. But like I said, it's going to be a turnaround to a whole lot of families. The woman's going to see that results going to come. But you don't show your children disrespectful and make him talk to him any kind of way and treat him any kind of way because you feel he's a nice person giving you his check and ruling the household, because you're going to be leaving, that husband going to move away from you and go to somebody else. That's something you don't want. So you better get your house in order and be prepared and humble yourself and start reading what a woman's supposed to do when you come down. But when she married to her husband, you better humble yourself. That mean everybody else, because they're coming. And they don't want no disrespectful children. Teenagers and all, they need to be on a job. Those children need to learn to make their beds, clean up behind themselves, wash those children, make sure the house is great. You better have your house in order. That's all I got to say. And including me and everybody else, make sure they got clean clothes. When he come in, he want to see your house clean. Because when he can trust you to move into the bigger house that you want to have, you're going to be so blown away from the bigger house, you're going to have to lose that attitude you have that you was doing before to move bigger. Because you're going to have it. But you got to make sure, even if you have to teach them children. And that's another thing that a lot of our parents need to start teaching our children, how to make beds and clean up and stuff like that. If you got to do it as a team, put that out there. That's a job. So, I have a program to teaching them how to make beds. Put that out there, cleaning the refrigerators and stuff like that. Not the 10, 12 years old, them. Put them out there to do that. But some of the young ones need to pick up after themselves. But you don't want no ruly child. And another thing, don't have them yelling and screaming in the stores and running all over the place and stuff like that. And yelling out the car and all that and stuff. Doing disrespectful things. That's something that's not going to be tolerated. So that's why the two or more agreeing together, y'all gonna be the family. They say the family that prays together, gonna stay together. Y'all gonna be a family. So many people gonna see a change in y'all family that who gonna have these husbands. And I'm talking to the one who really believe that they're gonna have them. And so as the man, they want the wife. So they're gonna be cutting within this one, gonna be looking for families because they want food stamp and welfare, finding women on Section 8, but they gonna say no. These girls gonna turn y'all down. Because they ain't going to want nobody who going to try to come in their house and do things to move them out there when them girls going to take the pathway to the righteousness. Because each and every one is going to listen to this message and they ain't going to have time for it anymore. They want somebody who's going to be there to love and care for them. Not someone who, just because they got housing and food stamp and getting a little assistance, they're going to have y'all leaning. No, they don't want that. But they want somebody who's going to move in that's going to be a starter husband and be in a starter marriage. Or somebody who's going to want to marry to be there to settle down. And the husband is going to come there. But like I say, it's going to happen. And then it's like, once again, thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Hopefully hear and see you out of the park circle when the time is right. Hopefully that you will call. And hopefully that you guys will have a blessed day. And I just thank you so much once again. Get ready, prepare your kids for school. School's going to come. Holidays going to be coming up shortly. The weekdays is going to be you and your kids when the time is right. Start doing family things. Pull together. Don't drink around your kids either. That's not good. Don't smoke around them either. That's not good either. Yelling and fussing in front of them, that's not good either. Trust me, that's not good. If you can put them in the room, I know some kids is very, and they like to be nosy in the parents' business and stuff like that. That's because the parents allow them to do it. Make them go in their room. That's what they're supposed to do. But and once they're done 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, so do what you have to do. Pray about it. And I just thank you so much. And you all have a blessed day. Thanks. Bye. I would like to say that many of us really doesn't know how the Almighty works, because everything that He do or does have its purpose. All we have to do is stay on the pathway of righteousness to find out what it is. And I have a story also that I would like to share about this radio that was found by this grandfather many, many years ago during the World War, during the Hitler time. But it appeared it came out during the winter storm that this young lady found in the basement of her household that was her grandfather's. So many of the people that was living in her small town never thought that this storm would come to pass, but it did. They had within 24 hours to try to get themselves prepared for this winter storm. The storm was very cold, below zero. They had to stock up on supplies and woods and everything. So each person that wanted to stay, they had to board their house up and keep themselves warm and fix soups and things that to keep themselves from being over freeze. So those who waited to the last minute, they wanted to leave out, and they did. So as the story go on, this unknown person was a night listener, and the radio that she found that she never thought was work, it did work. And as they sit there and they listen to the many stories that was taking place, that the unknown listener of the person that was on the other end of the side of the radio station, he was saving so many lives. Some was stuck on the bridge. Some of them, the people that who were viewers of, they were pregnant. I mean, there were some people who were really stuck out there in the cold weather, and they really needed rescue, but they did get rescued. But the thing about it with this story is they didn't know who that unknown listener was. He knew each and every one of their names. He shared stories with them. He even told them things that was going to take place and happen. So when it came to her time, that they was in, in the buried in their home, and they needed some comfort. They just needed some comfort and someone to be able to just keep them holding on, because it was just so cold out in the fire. We all know how it is when you putting wood in the fireplace. Those things seem like it don't always burn all the time. But this unknown listener gave her a word for she can be able to, and her husband to be able to understand that they will be saved, and things will get better. And I mean, it's just an awesome story. She also was given word that she was going to conceive, and she did. But nobody knows, and no one knows in that small town who this unknown night listener was. Nobody knows where he located. It was unknown. It wasn't a radio station. It wasn't a radio station at all. People were just talking about the story after what took place. After the storm, they was talking about the story. So her grandfather, when he hears what was going on the other end of the radio, it sounded like some of the people that during his time since World War were being, talking through this radio, that were being saved. So many people have a story to tell about this radio. So many people were saved because of this radio, of the unknown listener that was on the other side. So we just, as people, we don't know how things is out there. We don't know where the angels may be placed at. We just don't know. But what took place in that small town, and there's so much people were saved because that unknown night listener, and he knew each and every one of their names. He knew who needed to die, who was a diabetic. He knew who was pregnant. He knew those who were with sickle cells. He knew those who were in need of medical assistance. Right away, there were unknown, angels were in place to be able to help these people out. And some of these people didn't even know who they never even seen them again. And that's like a story that really touching, because you never know how the Almighty works in mysterious ways. So by the young lady, she was listening to what he was saying, her grandparents, they were listening, her husband was listening. He was just telling each and every person, even in her neighborhood, that were closed in during the storm time, what was going to take place. And it happened. But through it all, they all made it through. Everybody got their life back together. The ice was melted after the storm. Everything went back to its own place. But the real thing is, they wanted to thank the unknown night listener the person that was on the opposite side of the radio, but they didn't know his name. He didn't have a name or anything. He knew their name. They didn't know his name. So by them telling what took place in the town hall meeting, and some people was talking about it in the grocery store about what's phenomenal that what took place inside this small town down south, that really have a lot of people sitting on the edge of their seat because they want to know who is this unknown listener, who are this night listener that saves so many people's lives, but nobody really know who it is. And there was another story that was told about two young men was out, and it was during the winter time, and their car engine froze, and it was sitting on the side of the road. It was a dark place, just miles and miles away, say about maybe 30, 40 miles before they can reach a gas station. And it was out there, stuck out there, and it was cold, and you can't leave the heater on in a car but so long, because they couldn't leave the heater on. And the story went on about by they praying, and they were just talking and this praying themselves to try to keep themselves awake, because once you done reach that level and the engine done kicked out and then below zero outside and very cold, that what can happen when you out there, and it caused you to fall asleep. But it didn't happen to them. This unknown person, as an unaware angel, came with a pickup truck, and he was like a tour man, and he came out there and he rescued them. And once he took them to where they need to be at, not even 3 to 5 minutes, no one knew where he went. Nobody knew what direction. It wasn't no light down the street. It wasn't anything. He took them to where they lived at in their community. And so they wanted to come back and thank him, but then when they came back, not even 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, this person was gone. That's what their unaware angel was during the holiday time. So we don't know what lies out there, what holds out there. We just don't know. But at the right time, in the right place, they were set in place to be able to save so many people's lives. So there are some awesome stories out here that I believe that so many people that can share, besides the radio, the grandfather radio, besides those who were stuck out there in the freezing snow and needed help, and the person who came and helped them with his, was a tour man that came and helped them, and they don't know who he is. They couldn't even thank him. So we, as people, don't know, we're out here that sets in place. And there are lots of stories that can really, really save a lot of people's lives if they only believe that, that the higher power that's really working out there, and he really is working out there. So, we just have to stay prayed up. We have to stay in Bible-based church. We have to believe that we too can be able to be in place, because we just don't know. Even in our church, we even can be someone on the street that can be an unaware angel. We never know, that can give you a word that can save your life. But you just got to be in a position or be in a place to be able to hear what that person have to say, because a lot of us don't want to listen to no one else. We want to do what we want to do, but you never know. So we just have to pray up and wear our armors and keep ourselves in place where we can be able to hear that. Just like the Chisholm Street story. I remember about the Chisholm Street story as an example about what took place and how so many people have came to the Lord, and they had a certain amount of time to get themselves right in the church, and the pastor was giving them the word that just look, y'all have to either marry, get yourself together, put your families in order, get your house in order, get everything right, get all your bulls and dead, everything that you have, and we have to stand on the word, because he was given the word that he received one, but he going to stand on what he received, and they had about a certain amount of time. So with Chisholm Street, what happened, those are many who went out there, and some leave the church and some didn't believe, some wanted to still have their life, but the other ones who really stand in place or stay in place, they really got that blessing with what really took place in Chisholm Street. So that's an example to let people know that when the Lord give word, you have to be in place or you will miss your blessing. So you just have to be careful that you don't want people to steal your joy, because there are people out there or forces will steal your joy. So you got to be careful. And also the story about it's a story about a therapist that she one day decided to want to do therapy into a gymnasium of a school in down south in Charleston. So she decided that she wants to counsel those who in the community. She ended up with the story about the 33 virgins. There were virgins, but some decided that they wanted to walk towards the wall, but they was given word to not walk towards the wall or they would see the world. This is a sample story because sometimes some people don't listen. So by they being virgins and they was given word not to walk towards the wall, if they look over they could be able to see what the enemy wants them to see on the other side. They would see the world. So I mean that by listening and understanding of what the therapist's story was, she tried to find out why they couldn't go to the wall. So those who that sitting and placed it and you being told not to do certain things, this is a prime example that when you are in place in church and you sitting there and you not trying to be obedient to what was told and you decide to go and do what you want to do, it's just like Eve. She bit off the apple and she began to see the world. That's an example of what the virgins did. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful to what we decide to say. Well, we're going to either walk the pathway of righteousness or we're just going to live the best of both worlds. And we either got to give up one or love the other. And some of us want to live great for the rest of our life. We don't want to leave one and give up the other. We want all both. And sometimes we want other people ones too. So we got to be careful with that. Because sometimes when the word coming for you not to go to where you don't need to go at, and you do it anyway, you end up seeing the world of what it truly is. And then when the enemy attach himself to your life, you crying and want to know what's taking place and why me and what happened, because you disobeyed what you was told not to do. So you got to be careful with that. So my thing is that we just have to pray, and we just have to stay praying, rooted up into knowing what can be possibly out there in this world that can lead us to astray away from what we don't need. And we don't want to be a lost sheep for the rest of our lives. We don't want to be like the prodigal sons and daughters that are out here that will get restored, but we just want to be obedient to just listen, to just do what we're supposed to do. And here's another story as an example about those who was given word and they were listening and they was obedient, and those who once they received the word, they was given word to where to go at. So those who were in their place, they didn't receive the word because they wasn't what they supposed to be at in life. So when these stories, the story about the listeners, they got the word, and the people in the community would want to know why these people was getting themselves right. Why are they, all of a sudden packing their things and leaving? And it's like when they got the message, they was given word to be able to get themselves prepared because they was moving on. All of them that who were given this word were leaving. Some people never know what was going on, but those the one who was given word to move forward and to leave those things behind. Because if you're not going to be on one accord, then you is not going to be where everybody else is. So you have to be listening. You have to be in place and staying firm to listen and keeping your ears open, your eyes open, and your mouth shut to be humble enough to hear. So those who were listeners, they were already prepared and they started packing up and leaving. It's just like a warning that comes through the news that you need to pack yourself and get prepared because this is going to come through your way. And if you don't, this is what's going to happen if you don't leave this place. So they had the opposite of that. So they pack up and they leave, and so many people didn't understand why so many things was going on with the storm. Some people who did follow them got saved. Some of the people who followed them to where they were going at, they got saved because they listened. The people who were the listener, I guess by their listening, they seen that they were packing up and they leaving. They didn't hear a word coming from the news. They didn't hear that they needed to pack up and leave or anything. There wasn't no storm coming or anything. But that just let you know. Just like when this example is like when Moses freed the people out of Egypt and everybody that got the word. Some people didn't got the word. That's how the story is. But those who have been going to the promised land, Moses didn't make it to the promised land, but that's just like the listeners. Everybody who had received the word that was getting themselves prepared to move forward. But those who wasn't receiving the word, they was left. But some who decided to follow those who were packing up and leaving, they got saved too because they didn't want it to be so. They was forgiven. So they moved on and they got saved. So, I mean, we need to pay attention to that because a lot of things that we may use an example or listen to these stories, some of these things are really taking place out in this world. We never know, like I say, but you got to be in the right place at the right time. So we just want to thank, the Lord Almighty for even example stories and things that out there that people may not want to pay attention to, but really can help a whole lot of people. Just like the unaware angel, the night listener. You never know. Her grandfather found the radio, and during the war time of the Hitler time, and the radio saved so many people alive, and he was a night listener, but nobody knew who he was. Nobody can find out from this day forward. Nobody know who he was, but he saved so many people alive, but he knew their names, but they don't know who he was. So I mean that is a strange story, but that radio is from this day forward. Nobody know where the radio at, but the radio she put away, she stored, but nobody don't know, and maybe it may work or may not work. We don't know that. The story go beyond that, but I mean, like I say, we never know because sometimes we can feel a presence around us that can save us. Sometimes we can sense off things that happen in bad. They call the inner man. There's just things that can save you if you only think that who is helping me, who is sending me this, who is trying to let me know where to go at, where not to go at, who is really around me that really cares enough to let me know what's out there and what's about to take place. And there are several people will come through and they will share their story about warnings that they have been getting and people they might have to leave alone, and some things come through divine intervention that it's this unexplainable, but they happen for a reason. And all we have to do, like each and every person who went through a blessing, that received a blessing or received any help that through the unaware angel or from one unaware angels, we just have to believe that in our whole heart that we too can receive something that only if we stay in the pathway of righteousness. But I would like to thank you so much. I will try to come out with a book. I'm not sure about it, but I have some, paper, that was written down, and I'm gonna try to come up with that book about the night listener, because that's a real book that a lot of people and will save a lot of people's life, to let them know about that radio that saves so many people's lives. And so I'm going to try to come up with that book. And also I have a book that called, Flowers, that is going to be so much touching to so many teenagers out there. And it's going to help out so many people. And I'm gonna try to get that book out there. It's a book about a young lady that she was being bullied in school and mistreated, and those who were at the particular time she thought was friends was never her friends, because she come from a low class neighborhood from food stamp welfare government assistance, and some children don't have to come from that. They're just people bully, period. And there are forces that can sense out people there who are weak vessel that they can bully to be able to get that respect for themselves so they can look so high and mighty to everybody else. But the young lady that were bullied, that she didn't have no one to defend her and help her out. So she decided, even not even the principal, even the teacher. So she decided to run out of the school. And she tried to run home, but she ended up sitting at the park. And so while she was sitting at the park crying her little eyes out, she just got beat, bullied and attacked by several different girls that who didn't like her that she thought were her friends. But then the but then as she was sitting there, she was, she her eyes went on this orchid flower. It was a beautiful orchid flower. And her eyes went on the orchid flower, and the sun appeared, and the sun came through. But she, in the process time, she heard this still small voice was giggling and let her know that that's who she is. That orchid flower. She are the flower that's gonna floss later in life. She are who's that orchid flower is. She was a little bit stunned, but she didn't know, who it was. But it brought her peace. She had peace around her. But from that day forward, she believed in her heart that she could overcome what took place, and she shared her story. And once she shared her story to so many people, each person that who were bullied from the age 13 and up, to 18, because she were a pre-teenager, that they all became that flower too. So a lot of them had a story to share that they too are now a flower. Some were bullied because of their beautiful looks. Some were beautiful bullied because they're the neighborhood that they come out. Some were bullied because some people just like picking on people for several different reasons. And some of these girls and guys been bullied. Some were gay. Some were, you know, um, they just was different from all those that who they were around. Some were, angry also because some things that happened in their lives since their childhood, and they've been bullied by a stepfather, stepmom, and bullied by their relatives and their family and stuff like that. And some things that people are out here that caused them to get low grades in school, to get addicted to drugs, to do pornography, to do prostitution and stuff. There's a lot of stories that have something to do with people who are bullying, that lead them into the world to do things that is not pleasing of the Lord. So the book is about trying to change each and every person in life that who listen to this, because there are a lot of people have been bullied. I were bullied. So, and they're causing your grades to plunger, because some people grades that, and students that are being bullied, their grades go down. They end up going into this special education class. Some get mad because their parents was, bullying, and their parents end up getting killed by a bully, and they withdraw themselves and put this wall of defense mechanism up. They'll lock out so many people that who really can help them. Some people do things to hurt other people, because hurt people, but a lot of pre-teenagers out here were bullies. So I'm gonna try to get that out. I'll put it online for people can read it and their kids can read it, and maybe they can be able to help so many children out, because we don't want another Sandy Hook shooting because of bully, or which wasn't, but then we don't never know what really took this kid to be able to shoot. We don't want another we don't want a lot of shooting to take place out here. It's just not right. And so many kids have, and pre-teenagers have passed away because of a bully, or so many kids looking at the internet site and want to become this god person or this person, to give them an image where they can take it out in the school and hurt someone else. And that's not right. We just don't need no school shooter. We don't need no guns out here just try to make ourselves look better than anyone else. We don't need no bullies, no more bullies. If you can be able to help another child out as a pre-teenager, and this go for all the pre-teenagers, just try to help some kids inside elementary school. Start a WIN program, start a program, or a little group that can help those who are being bullied and stuff, and those who need socks and shoes. And if you can afford to help those out and get their hair fixed, even by someone who can pay it, fix their hair a little less. I mean, just figure out some things that you can probably try to help them, even if you got to put a package together. With sometimes when you help those who are being bullied, they end up turning to be bullied too. So you got to pray on that and start praying. And some of these pre-teenagers that's in the book were praying. They went to Bible study, they went to church. They started using, hello God, this is me. Is you still out there, and start writing down things that were bothering them and stuff, and putting it in a prayer request box in church, and them getting themselves involved, and less pregnancy was taking place and stuff. So much wonderful things going to take place and happen. And so I just want each and every person that who really want a copy of this book that can really have it, and it's called Flowers. So each person that who got delivered and set free from the bullying and the anger of what was their past was of those who have hurt and defend them, they will set free and become the flower of their choice. So the young lady that who became the orchid flower, someone may became the rose, and the flower story goes on and on. And so they all became flowers of a family. They became this big flowers of a family in the end. So you have to look at it and read and understand what this book is, and it's going to be awesome. So those who want a book, they can just let me know. But once it hits out there, it's going to spread out there to many of those who want to use the book to be able to help a pre-teenager that who's in a bad position. Even a pregnant teen, she was thinking about getting an abortion, but overhearing what took place with the orchid story of the pre-teenager, she decided not to, because she had help. Focus on the Family was one of them. It's several different stories out there that will help a preteen go through the problem, even abuse relationships and stuff like that, and batters home and stuff like that. But there are things out there will are programs will help you if you allow yourself and open those doors for it to be able to help you. So the book is going to be real good. So just hope and pray with me that one day or soon it'll be out there hitting the shelves quick, fast, for you can be able to get this book. And if not the shelves, just call me, and hopefully that it'll come out soon, so I can be able to share this book out. But just pray for me. So I just want to thank you, Father Lord, for them all who listening to this, my stories and what's take place. And I just hope that they all can sit down and just really let this soak in, to be able to help someone else out and let them know there are unaware angels. There are people who have been in different situations out there. There are people who really need some help. And you never know. You can be at the bus stop, or you might be in the need of something, or you can be in your car, you can be on your job, you can be in your home, you can be anywhere, and the unaware angels gonna pop up. You never know. That's why I said there are people out here that you got neighbors. Try to surprise your neighbor, even if you may not want them to know who you is. Leave $5, $10, maybe some things that you may not think they may need. Try to leave them and say, well, I leave $3 because or a card, or maybe some things out of Dollar Tree or Dollar General, or Family Dollar or something like that. And just leave a welcome, to the neighborhood little gift, maybe for a little dollar, maybe some oven mittens or something like that, maybe some pair of shoes or something. Just try to help out each and every person that you may need in the neighborhood. Me too, everybody else, including me. Try to help out your neighbors and stuff when the time is right, because you never know who can pull you out. And not only just your neighbor, someone that might lead you from your heart to be able to help. And just help them, even with flowers that can help out. A scented candle, maybe some fragrance to spray their household. You never know. And I'm trying to really decide whether I want to do laundry day or not. I'm gonna try to talk to Seacoast about that, because Seacoast is a great church about laundry day. So that's another thing. But I try also will be doing. Hopefully, it'll be the Wacky Tack Day dress down day at the Park Circle in North Charleston. When the time is right, you will see the sign posted out there. So it's really up to the Park Circle the instructor that going to give me that information. When it do, you'll see it out there. And Renew program, I'm trying to raise the money for the Renew program for everybody to be able to get their hair cut and maybe get some nails done and get some dress wear, some things that can renew you to make you feel better, knowing that you are a Christian or becoming a Christian, that you can let people know, the Lord is good, the Lord is great. We don't want to have ourselves looking so downfall that we not like the fig tree that needs to be withered away. We want to keep ourselves up. We want to look good. We want to be prepared for the things that to come, because the wealth that been for the wicked is laid out for the just, and so many things is going to happen because we are those who are just, and there are many that who might have been falling, me thinking this is the end, but it's not. So it's just not going to be finance. It's going to be renewal of the mind. It's going to be dress code. It's going to be those who are going to be saying, those who are going to be cleaning their house, those who are going to be respectful, those who are going to be humble, those who are going to have the same abilities that someone else has that had, but they didn't appreciate it. That's going to pour on you. So they might be leave with a 20, you might get the 80, and they might be leave with a 10, and you might get the 90s. But it's going to pour on you guys, and you're just going to have to believe and stand in the Word and keep yourself in Bible and Bible study in the Bible-based church, and fast and pray. That's real good. And keep your oil, like I say on one of my messages, keep that. And just have yourself prepared, because you never know. And it's not going to be that long, so you never know. But also those who out there that the Spirit might lead you, and those who in the North Charleston area, and those who out here may need income, some type of income, try to help them get a job. If you listening to this message, you might have a job that they might need training on. They might not have the education enough. They might not have the resume, but try to help them get this job so they can be able to have working. There might be someone in the need of $250 and or some baby pampers, or somebody need a tire change, or a bicycle, or some blankets, or some things that, we understand there are a lot wants to give to the church and all, but just pray about it. And Lord, I might be out today and I have $250. Who should I give it to? Because it happened to me. I'm being honest. I never expected to happen by someone that was in my church, and I was in need of finance, and someone just out of the blue, unknown, and she's reaching her pocket and give 260 just like that. So you never know who he working through. And a lot of you guys gonna have favor. A lot of you guys gonna have so much blessing. The husband that, like I said on one of my messages, you're gonna have that. Children's gonna be right. Children's gonna be in church. The preteen, all of that they was doing as far as sexual and all of, they're gonna have a place to stay. They're gonna eliminate all that sexual thing, have intercourse, and unaware pregnancy is gonna be dropping to a plunge, because so many things going on in this world, and we just have to stay pray up and stay strong to believe what's gonna take place, because we want to be in on that list to be able to have those things come to us in our lives. So as you go out, try to keep $50 to $20, and you might see somebody with a perm and say, buy him a box of perm. Don't let them know, just buy him a box of perm, or somebody who might need some change for some food or something, so a drink of water. Try to keep, somebody who might be sitting at the bus stop and might need some clothes or deodorant or something. Just try to keep some things in your car in the box and say, Lord, I have a box of things that I want to give to. Please lead me to who you need this to go to. You know what I'm saying? You never know at the right time, at the right place, at the right time, who you will help out. There might be somebody who might be sitting outside of a McDonald's or a Burger King or IHOP and might not have breakfast, sitting at the bus stop, and just ask them, do you need to make a phone call for you or something? Just something small. And even if you have to do a little bit more, that's still good. But just take it to the church, say, Lord, this is who, just pray about it and say, Lord, I am so thankful because what you bless me, I give to someone else. Clothes in your closet you may not need, try to give it to your neighbors. Try to help those who are in your neighborhood. Like kids now, school going to be starting up. Take the neighborhood kids with you in your car to get some free clothes and school supplies. And they may need kids might be in the neighborhood need some sneakers or a new pair of coat or something like that. Help those children out. I don't care whether it's a bag of grocery. Help them out because they need those things. There are so many things that's happening nowadays. We need each other. We got to be a people. We have to pray about what's to take. Pray about healing for our earth. We got to pray about each and every person that we love around, even from the north, south, east, west. Just pray about it because we need each other. And I just want to thank you so much for listening to this message. I want to thank you so much for just taking the time out and just have a share to someone. Try to let someone listen to it if that's what you choose to do. And I just want to thank each and every person who listened to this message. So, I mean, just take it in one day at a time. I hope that you like the story about the radio. Hope that the Chisholm Street story and the therapist story and so many stories that's out here that will blow your mind that really taking place that we probably don't know of. So just thank you so much and you all have a blessed day. Thank you. Good morning. We're going to talk about Good Samaritan people. We're going to talk about those that are placed out there in the world that can be used by God. And we're going to talk about so many things that can help us throughout our time in life. Just like those can be a spiritually interceding person. We already know about the unaware angels. Again, about the Samaritan people. We know about the impossible. We know a lot of things about spiritual event, phenomenal things. And there's some great stories about several things that I'm talking about. So you just have to go out there and relocate the book and can help and guide you through what you need to know. But we also is going to be talking about so many things that brought people out of a terrible storm in their lives. And that can help and share out so many people that can probably be sinking and need someone to pull them up. So, I mean, we're just going to also go through scriptures that can help us and that can contain the things that we need. So we have to locate it for we could be able to have it to be we can be able to share with so many people that can use what we have experienced or what we have located in the Bible that maybe can help you out and help someone else out. So we just have to just try to stay close together to be able to be as a people and be as a team worker because we really need that in this today's world because so many things is going on in the world. But before we get started, we're just going to pray that, Father, Lord God, we lift this up to you, this message and all the messages from my speeching and my testimonies that those who are viewers or listeners or even, coming aboard on what our conversation is, that they be touched by, delivered by, maybe try to take it and study the words in the Bible. I mean, I just thank you so much for so much that you are doing through me to be able to help so many people out there in today's world. So thank you so much. Amen. I mean, there are some wonderful topic stories out there about a young lady I read in my book called the Where Angels Walk, and it's a great book. And one of the stories is about a young lady from walking. This happened many years ago in the Brooklyn, New York area, and this guy who were out there on the street corner, because the area that she have to pass is to where she lived, and he ended up, raping another young lady. But he did not touch her. But she was afraid because she know when she walked, in that area, that there are people out there hanging out on the street. But he was out there at that particular time. So by she praying and asking for the guardian angels to protect her and, asking for, the Lord to come and be with her while she walking home. He did not touch her, but he raped someone else. And so when the story comes, continue, it talks about how they caught the person who did the rape in her neighborhood, and when she had to identify him because she did saw that person. So when he raped another woman, she identified him as a lineup in the police station, and he was asked question, why her and no one else, and he tell her and the police officer that there were two other person that were tall behind her, but she never had nobody behind her. So that could tell you that there are unaware angels, and angels are walking among us that we never know, by we praying and asking for that protection, who will be there at that particular time to be there to help us and protect us from those who try to harm us. So that's a great story. So the book is called Where Angels Walks. This is a very great book. And another story based on this couple went out, and it was during the winter time, and they end up the car ended up flipping over, and they was having a terrible time trying to get out of the car. So I mean, the story went on about the still small voices, and how they were kept calm, and how they got rescued, and it's so several stories. I mean, I just want you all to read the book, and maybe if you read the book, that it'll give you some help into areas that need in your life, that you will know that if you go out here in this world by praying and believing that there are protectors out here on your angels, and you never know. You just never know, by reading books. So reading books is very good. And we also have to try to read books with our children too, because our kids need to learn to read and understand some things too that out here. But not too much, because we don't want to let our kids carry the burden and the loads that we have as parents, because some kids out here raising their parents, and that's not fair to them. And grandparents is raising their great grandkids or their kids, their daughter kids or their son kids, and that's not good. So there's some great stories in here. One is about um, angels all around us. One about talking about night guides. It is some great stories in this book, and so whenever you get time, to try to go locate this book, because it's very wonderful, and it's very educational too, because it talks about religion, different religions like the Western and the Judaism and the Islamic and stuff like that. And I mean, it talks about different religions, but it also talks about certain things that can make you understand that what all these different religions are about, and who are in several different areas of their life that reads these things. Like the Catholic, we already know about Catholic, like I said before, the Western religion, Judaism, Christianity, Islam. And it talks a whole lot about different religions, and talks about the Old Testament and Jewish Torah, and it talks so much about things that we need to pay attention to, that probably is going on in this world, and a lot of things that's taking place. It talks about prophets and Muhammad and Arabians, and it talks about many other gods that out there. It talks about Gabriel, Ariel, the Archangel, Raphael, Michael. It talks so much about some things. So, I mean, like I said before, this is a very great book. And whenever you get time, to try to go out there and try to pick one up for yourself and read it through along, and read your Bible. Continuously read your Bible, because that's very good to read. Um, we are people that lives in this world, and you never know how we can beat the odds. They got movies about how you beat the odds. Like I said, 700 Club is good. John Hagee is good. Keith Hagee is good. Creflo Dollar is good. T.D. Jakes is good. Seacoast is very good. Very great church. It's Joel Osteen is good. Joyce Myers is good. I'm reading pulling up on the computer, looking at some of the 2000s marathon of the TBN station. That is very good. But it's some very great stories that you can really hear coming from Christianity, coming from a lot that who really trying to change their lives and stuff like that. It's very very great and good. And by me right now, I'm just looking through this book and I got my candle burning and stuff like that. I really would like to hear from some of you guys that out there, or and try to call and share your number with some of the people and start a Bible study when the time is right. And like I said, the Park Circle will be available for those who want to come out and on my message. So when you get that message, or listen to that message, then you can come out when the time is right. But I just really like to thank you all and all of you guys that are listening, because I really trying to get a breakthrough to so many people that out there that have been written off or need to be pulled in and need to be planted in the church, or really need to know the word. And we know a lot of atheists out there too. And a lot of atheists going to get their message soon. They're going to turn the other cheek and they're going to come where they need to be. But some of them will have testimonies. They're going to blow everybody's mind. So it's going to be wonderful. We're going to come against so much sickness and disease. We're going to come against those that are in debt. We're going to stand on the word for the healing. We're gonna speak those things to come out. We're gonna be awesome. All of us together. We're gonna pray as a people that those who listen to this message and spread it among those who are in the North Charleston area, throughout the Tri-County area. Those at the North Charleston bus stop, at the library in North Charleston, the one in Berkeley County, Trident One Stop, the Trident Technical College, Charleston, the College of Charleston. Sorry about that. The College of Charleston. Those that in the local areas, those that are bound and chains, even those in the middle class areas that struggling, paying their bills. A lot of you guys gonna come out of so much situation that is going to be awesome. But you just got to step out and try to help other people too. There'll be lots of lottery winners. There'll be people, and I can't say that he blessed you to win it, but there are some stories about divine intervention, about lotteries, so that's out of my lead. I don't have no control over that. Look at some of the Oprah shows that she had, the episodes, but a spiritually episode about a guy one time that I remember, very great story, that how he were on the airplane, and how the airplane blew up, and it's like he was the only one left to tell the story. And the story was about he saw so many people were burning, and those the ones that he saw was burning to ashes, but he saw the oil was lifted up out the head. They had oil like the oil, so I mean, if you want to look into that, you can pull that up. And also the one about the couple lost their children, their three kids, and they need three kids was reborn again, looked like the identical ones that passed away. And I mean, this is some tragic story, horrifying story, but some understanding come out of that story. So it's very awesome. And Steve Harvey got some great stories out there, about the balloon story, about the three African American kids that lost their parents, and they needed a headstone for their parents, and they sent up the balloon with the message on it, and it landed in someone else's yard. And then someone else end up finding out their address and paying for everything and beyond what they needed. So there's some great stories out there. People feel that you have to be, just have to be Christified, or they call it holified, or whatever. You'll be surprised at the time who you are can be able to share a story with someone. You could be in the world, but then you could be touched for you to be able to share that story for somebody to change your life, to come back or to come in Christianity. So I mean, there's some very great stories out there. So it's not good to judge people and look at them and look down on them and shake your head. It's good to pray for them. And if you can't, anything you can't do for them, get their name and put it on the prayer list. Just try to do that, because the devil out there roaring like a roaring lion. He trying to steal he just trying to steal from people's family. He hates family. He don't want things to come to pass, and he trying to change what the Lord Jesus Christ and God have already ordained since the beginning. So we got to be careful for those who out there in this world, and just try to pray and stay on one accord. And everybody, when you pray on one. Everybody, like the Book of Matthew talks about, two or more agree. Stand in prayer with family inside your household. Me and everybody else, I include myself. We all have our stuff to go through in our lives, trials and tribulation. We gotta continuously praying. We gotta stay in the Word. And people might say through my messages, why you don't put the Bible scriptures and stuff? Because I want you to locate what fits you. I might tell you to go to the Book of Malachi 3:10, but you need to find out what's He trying to let you know through the words. Because through His words, it's through His words He will teach you and tell you the things what He wants you to know. So I mean, we can read what someone else say, and that's real good. But then once you get in that word and start going through Bible study and starting for yourself, you'll be surprised what will come in that word that really will pull you to let you know this is for you to know. Because I'm going to tell you, the Bible is a breathing, living testimony, as I have spoken before in one of my testimonies. So just try to share it out with so many people that you can really, really benefit from, or if it can benefit from you, so both of y'all can be on the one accord together. And I just thank you guys so much for listening to this message. I really trying to get a breakthrough to someone that who really trying to really need someone that can really counsel them or try to help them out on along the way. So I might always not be the right person, but listening to my message and going to church and listen to those who can uplift you, that'll be real good. Focus on the family is real good to listen to. It's a great teaching and educational with focus on the family. You got a lot of spiritually messages on the YouTube.